Think Cebu and real estate, and immediately Cebu Landmasters comes to mind. Now, it was set up in 2003 by Joe Soberano, who at that time had just retired from his stint in the corporate world. 14 years later, and the company has become one of the biggest players in the Visayas, even listing at the Philippine Stock Exchange. We had the pleasure of speaking with Joe, who just a day after we did our interview was awarded Industry Entrepreneur of the Year at the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Here's that interview. So it's been 5 months since your IPO in May. Your stock has seen some swings. It went up to 20% up. Now it's back to where it started, but pretty good, doing pretty okay. How has the ride been so far as a listed company?
Well, the things that we normally have done in terms of development is becoming more fast, no? The movements of acquisitions and building is there. And the book room is also very busy trying to engage ourselves with putting in the governance push.
Are you feeling the pressure? All eyes are on you now?
Well, we have a much bigger stakeholder base to speak about, no? The bigger public that we have to give our service to. So the pressure is good for us because it puts us grounded and make sure that we deliver the goods.
There you go. Did you imagine 20, 30 years ago that you would be here today, that you would be this big today?
Well, quite honestly, I have never imagined that when I was with my years with Ayala and just aspiring to be an entrepreneur and getting started. And I'm just so fortunate to be where I am right now. I give that to the organization, the people, the support, also the family.
So let's look at your history. You were with Ayala Group and with other companies in the private sector. And then at age 43, you retired.
Right. At that age, I was really pursuing public service. And the bigger public service that I realized was really being into real estate, because it's also serving the people and looking at the homeowners, giving them the best that they could have, providing them homes and the best place they could stay. And I'm happy where I am right now.
So in 2003, you started Cebu Landmasters. 14 years after you list, you're now a big player.
Yes, that's how it rolls up, no? Identifying the opportunities that were there. Bismin to me is a place where I'm very familiar with. Even when I was in the private sector, that was my main focus. So
why? I mean, I know you're from Cebu,
yes,
but why Vismin and not Luzon? Many of the big players are here.
Even the NEDA studies point out that the growth areas are there. So I would rather be focusing there. And there are more infrastructure build up now. No? And even the manpower of people who are having to work on construction basically come from the Visayas and Mindanao areas. So we harness also their skills and their availability and giving us all the support for our real estate push.
So you're present in Cebu, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, and you have a lot of projects in the pipeline for launch this year.
Yes, Bacolod, Iloilo.
Negros Oriental.
Right.
You're calling 2017 a banner year. Why?
The IPO is there and more projects coming into place. You have about 17 billion of projects being launched this year alone. That's why it points us to that direction of attaining by 2020 a 10 billion sales target with a 3 billion net income. To us, that will put us in our attainment of the vision to be the premier homegrown real estate developer for Bismin.
Of course, a 10 billion target sales, that would be more than double your target this year.
Very much. It's actually triple. Oh, that's tripling it. Oh, well, that's in the next 2 years coming, you know. So,
And what's going to drive this growth? Aren't you seeing any bubbles?
demand is there. So we have seen that in the past years. You know, these are real demand, especially on the economic and mid-market sector of our economy. The buyer base have continued to grow. The OFW support is there. These are real legitimate buyers. So that strong demand has to be met with developers coming in and providing that particular need to them.
But beyond providing residential communities or places for the OFWs and your other clients, are you also looking at boosting your recurring income like rental or leasing, which currently just makes up about 5%
Yes,
of your
that's
total
right.
revenues?
We hope to increase that eventually to 20%. And we're gearing up to that. Mixed-use development are in place for us, no? And we soon will be realizing this in the next year or two. We're also building up our hospitality portfolio. At least 5 hotels will be operational in 3 to 4 years. 3 will be in Cebu, 1 in Davao, and 1 in Bacolod. So all of this mixed-use development, hospitality, even the office leasing part, no? Right now, we have 2 ongoing buildings being constructed. The Latitude in Cebu Business Park and also the Baseline Center that we have in Cebu as well.
Since we're on the topic of expansion, let's go down to some figures here. What kind of growth are you seeing in the next year or two? Double-digit?
Yes,
Income growth?
still there. When we were figuring our income growth up to 2020, we're averaging something like 40%.
40%?
40%.
40.
Year on year.
Okay.
Moving up to 2020. That's how we foresee it. So it's going to be a very busy year and moving forward.
I
also
can
doing
imagine.
that.
How about land banking?
Yes.
Right now you have how much of a land bank?
We figure this should be doubled up, no? Because
From the current 5 billion.
well, somewhere in that region, no? Because principally the IPO proceeds
Which
was
is 2
really
point-
to
around-
boost up about 2.2 billion that will go for purely expansion moves in land acquisition. So that will boost again our land bank, and there are more to come. No, and the recurring income base will also be expanding, and at the same time, the revenue base as well. No, as we develop the land bank and do our selling push. In our
Your
expansion moves.
children, they play very important roles, different roles in the company. What's it like running a business with your kids?
Oh,
How do you explain this to them?
honestly, I'm learning also from them. These are new ideas that they have come about, and I've always told them that well, we work right now, and even for your next generation, that's the thing that we will have to leave behind, a strong organization, and we are here also for the future generations. So that's why we team up very well together with my wife. Also, it's a family business.
Who I imagine is the real boss.
Oh, yeah, perfectly said, Michelle, and that's the kind of interaction we have. Even when we are already in the house, we exchange these pleasantries, no, of mixing up the good things that's happening in the offices, in our work, and also balance it with what we can do as a family.
Wow.
And we look at, of course, the company, the organization as a family as well.
Wow. So, okay, last few questions for you. Number one, infrastructure. Most of the property giants, Ayala, SM, are getting into infrastructure with the government. Are we going to see Cebu Landmasters, your name and bids soon?
Not immediately, but we do have our share that will impact the community. No, in Cebu, I have this project that will have it's a reclamation project. You know, we're waiting for some papers to be approved by government, and that could help contribute to the infrastructure of Cebu, because when you have 100 hectares of reclaimed land, there's a lot of opportunities that you can also provide, you know, in terms of infrastructure support to the locality. I'm referring to the town of Minglanida, which is about 20 minutes from Cebu City. Now, also in Davao, we have that Central Business District project. It's a 20-hectare development in the heart of Matina. That's the centrally located part of Davao. And that, again, could boost infrastructure in a way. No? While we may not be doing the big ones, our projects themselves can be supporting all those infrastructure moves in key cities of Bismin.
So when you look back, what do you want to tell the younger version of Joe?
Well, just be able to spot opportunities, no, and balance this out with your capabilities, and try to see that when things match, then that would be something that you would like to really try and push, no, and that way you can also be the best entrepreneur that you can be.
Well said. Thank you very much for joining us, Joe. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.